Here are two secrets about cravings and blood sugar that you need to know. Let's take a look behind the scenes of what cravings really mean and what cravings are trying to tell you. Now, if you have a bad night's sleep, do you ever notice feeling overly hungry the next day? If you have type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or other blood sugar issues, this might be really exaggerated. A phenomenon, something that you're experiencing, you might not understand. These things are related. Maybe in the morning when you wake up, or it's all day long, but your hunger is just out of control. It's a feeling of hunger that you cannot just shake. Won't let you go, right? Like you're in the grip of something else. Well, here are some things that are going on behind the scenes that drive these cravings. Once you understand this, you can do something about it. One patient in particular comes to mind. She was struggling with both poor sleep and high levels of chronic stress. This was really a terrible combination. Her cravings were relentless. She craved both sweets and savory umami foods like biscuits and gravy. The desire for these specific kinds of taste was just out of control. It was on her mind all day. And then she discovered behind the scenes why she had these cravings. I had a chance to work with her and explain it to her. Once she knew why she had these cravings, it empowered her to make some changes so she could say bye-bye to the cravings once and for all. Now, in her case, her job was really stressful, and there were recent changes in her workplace that saw a number of coworkers quit because the whole situation was overwhelming. It wasn't good. So she was now doing the workload of three people. Needless to say, she's exhausted by the time she gets home, right? So going home after work for her was not a restful experience. Everyone deserves time in the day to be able to rest. This wasn't happening for this person. Her life at home was also stressful and challenging as she had a family member that she cared for who needed lots of help during the night when she was supposed to be sleeping herself. The unpredictable nature of the interruptions of her sleep, along with the demands of caregiving, really took a toll. Over time, her blood sugar got much worse. At one point, her A1C number was 10.0. Wow, that's really high. So now, look, the truth be told, she had no real opportunity to get a good night's sleep for herself. We need to be real about people's actual lived experiences and what's going on for them at home, as well as at work. So this meant for her that she missed out on an opportunity each and every night for her blood sugar to reset to the healthy range by the time she woke up. This was the situation that she was in. And her doctor's advice of eat less and move more was not helping her, even a little. It was, frankly, entirely too vague, and it missed two critical things that were out of balance for her self-care. And no one was talking to her about this to educate her so she could understand what she could do to help herself. None of her health professionals had explained this to her. Being plagued by food noise and an incessant desire to eat, feeling like a bottomless pit when it comes to eating, it's a miserable feeling. And it's really hard to succeed in improving blood sugar numbers and lowering your A1C when there is a strong, perhaps overwhelming desire to keep eating, especially high-calorie sweets or savory umami foods that don't have any real nutrients to offer you, It could be high-calorie, low nutrient density, and doesn't leave you feeling satisfied, just leaves you feeling like you need to eat more. So the twin gremlins of ghrelin and leptin were driving these cravings. Let me explain. Having imbalances in these two hormones, ghrelin and leptin, it's real trouble. Ghrelin is the hormone of hunger. If it helps you, think of ghrelin as the grrr sound that your belly makes when you're hungry. Grrr for ghrelin, okay? Try to remember that. It tells you when to start eating. It is the hormone of hunger, of appetite, of it's time to eat. Now, ghrelin, unfortunately, can be triggered by levels that are way too high, chronically too high levels of stress, along with chronic poor sleep. Either one can cause an imbalance in ghrelin, and if you have both, oh boy, it's a double whammy. Leptin is the hormone of satiety, feeling satisfied or satiated when you eat a meal. You can tell when it is time to stop eating quite readily if leptin is in good balance. When leptin's out of balance, oh boy, trouble, trouble, big trouble there. Leptin can be triggered by poor sleep and high levels of chronic stress. Calming one can help to calm the other. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below and hit the subscribe button. Here are some ideas on how to tame these twin gremlins of ghrelin and leptin when they are driven by poor sleep and high levels of chronic stress. Number one, have a plan for what you will eat the day after a bad night's sleep. This is a real way to make a difference quickly in this situation. Focus on eating high-quality foods as best you can. So let's start with breakfast. Specifically, have breakfast. Yes, this is right, breakfast, including leafy green vegetables, which are high in fiber. Eat protein, healthy fat, and slow-burning resistant starch complex carbohydrates. I'm going to give you examples of all of them, okay? As a guideline, you can use the palm of your hand as a reference for your serving size. For the leafy green vegetable high fiber portion, eat at least 2 servings of leafy green vegetables. And yes, for breakfast. Or if your first meal of the day happens to be lunch, that's fine. Make sure those leafy greens are in there. They do so much good for you. They are literally blood sugar sponges. Now, for the protein portion, eat 1 serving of protein, which can be meat, seafood, fish, poultry like chicken or turkey, or it can be a plant-based source of protein like nuts or seeds. For the healthy fat portion, you can eat a handful of nuts or seeds, or if you prefer, a tablespoon of organic extra virgin olive oil. For the slow burning resistant starch complex carbohydrates portion, eat a serving of beans, peas, or other legumes. They'll certainly fit the bill and get the job done for you there. Eating a meal like this for breakfast to literally break your fast is a great way to start the day to balance blood sugar levels and avoid blood sugar spikes that can drive yet more food cravings. Write down your plan for breakfast. Maybe put it right on your refrigerator or have it as a note on your phone, whatever works for you, so that you know when you wake up from a bad night's sleep, you already have a plan and you can take action. You won't have to struggle to think about what was I supposed to do? Oh, never mind. Let me just eat this, pastry or Danish or simple grains or something really sugary, like maybe black coffee with a ton of sugar in it, right? It helps you resist that urge. If you have a plan, you know where to find your plan and you can enact your plan. It's really critical to do this step. I know it might sound like, really? But yes, no, really, right? It also removes that temptation to eat junk food to quickly satisfy these kinds of cravings, which are at the expense of your health. Eat meals like this for lunch and dinner too. This is one of those things where you can literally rinse, wash, repeat. Do the same thing all day. It will really help to calm things down and keep your blood sugar out of the danger zone during that day as your whole body and your psyche recovers from a poor night's sleep. Next, take a good look at what you can control in your life and what is not in your hands to control. These are important distinctions to make because, frankly, we can't control everything. But sometimes there are things that we can control. So that's what we can focus on if you're trying to have healthier levels of blood sugar. Most people benefit from looking at their sleep habits. So let me ask you this. Do you have a regular, calming, predictable routine for what you would do before going to bed to go to sleep? Do you have to go to bed at the same time every night? Yeah, that makes a difference, right? Do you need to awaken at the same time each morning? Yep, that makes a difference too. Giving your body regular signals about when it's time to go to bed, time to wake up, gets all the other hormones, and this includes insulin, into an organized state. How about weekends? Do you have the same sleep and wake times then? Do you watch the news right before bed or watch violent or otherwise perhaps disturbing kinds of content, movies, shows right before bedtime? Having a soothing, relaxing, consistent bedtime routine can really help with sleep issues that might cause high blood sugar levels overnight. If someone else is disrupting your sleep, take steps to minimize or eliminate this disruption if at all possible. You got to get good sleep. Now, if you can't eliminate this disruption, then do your best to focus on the other lifestyle steps that impact blood sugar, like meal timing, healthy, nutrient-dense nutrition, exercise, and an emphasis on strength training as ways to achieve and sustain healthy blood sugar levels. Number 3, give yourself some grace. It's likely taken years for things to get out of balance, and it takes time for things to heal. If eating lots of leafy green vegetables is new to you, have patience about your taste preferences. They take time to change too. The good news is they can change quickly. The taste bud cells of the tongue turn over every 10 to 14 days. Research shows that, from a practical point of view, it takes 10 to 21 days for people to notice that they don't really want sweets or highly savory umami foods as much as before, for example. So please give yourself some grace. Changes can take some time. Now, for chronic stress, reflect on what it is that you find stressful. Everyone is different in what they find stressful. If you're someone whose professional work or whose personality is such that you are very calm, you are the eye of the storm in the moment of conflict. Maybe you are a professional mediator, for instance. You might be amazing at that. Other people, if they were in those situations, they might be very stressed. But for you, it could be your calm spot, right? The same way if you're a preschool teacher, and you enjoy little children, that might be just a lovely thing for you. And if you're someone who really doesn't like little kids, that could be stressful, right? We aren't all the same, and that's fine. But you really do need to have an idea of what it is you find stressful. And where you can make changes, please do. Your blood sugar will thank you. In fact, all aspects of your health will be better. So, going back to this idea from before, take a good look at what you can control in your life and what is not in your hands to control. If you can make changes that will lead to lower levels of chronic stress or elimination of chronic stress, please do. Reducing and eliminating high levels of chronic stress will improve many aspects of your health, including issues with blood sugar. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. If you like this video, please help my channel grow by liking the video, subscribing to it, and sharing it with others. Thanks for watching. You're welcome to check out other videos that are here.